a road somehow connecting the South China Sea with the Mediterranean, along which so many important ideas like gunpowder and printing and paper, porcelain, passed along. India, for some reason, has been much less good at telling its version of the story. People here are brought up knowing about Aryabhata and Brahmagupta, but in a quirk of educational failure, I think, in the rest of the world, these are names which mean absolutely nothing if you are to talk in America or Europe of these names. They just haven't registered. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know why China has been so successful in giving out its version of events, while India has not. I wrote this book because it seems to me that the notion of the Silk Road has become so well established, but the equally important and much earlier trade connections of India are still largely unknown even in India, and certainly to the wider world. And yet, they're there very clearly in the sources. Pliny, naval commander of the 1st century in Rome, talks about India, not China, India being the drain of all the precious metals in the world. He blames the rich, what I suppose politicians here would call Luchan's Delhi. Pliny attacks the Roman equivalent for their taste for Indian luxuries, for ivory, for silks, for expensive cottons. Just like you might splash out on a visit abroad on an Hermes bag or or some Hermes perfume or whatever it is. Roman ladies in the 1st century used to boast about their Indian goods. Lolina Polina, who was a girlfriend of Nero, used to turn up at parties wearing Indian diamonds in her hair, Indian garnets in her tummy button, and Indian pearls on her shoes, and in a nicely Punjabi touch, brought the receipts to parties in order to show off her friends how much they cost. Nothing new. This is just the top of the iceberg. There's increasing amount of evidence that scholars are very aware of, but really has not made it out into the popular sphere on the sheer scale of the maritime trade, but also the wider civilizational influence of India on the world. And the book that I've written, The Golden Road, is an attempt to bring into focus the essential facts of India's influence. And I've arranged it under 3 broad headings. One is the spread of Buddhism and Buddhist ideas and Buddhist literature, an incredibly important moment in the spread of Indian ideas. The second is the slightly later moment when Hinduism and Sanskrit and this wider world of Sanskrit literature spreads particularly to Southeast Asia, so that by the 12th century, the largest Hindu temple in the world is built not in India, but at Angkor Wat in Cambodia. How did that happen?